Okay, hello everyone. So this is real estate again. So I think that for today, you heard a lot of topics about the real estate. So please bear with me for a little bit minutes. So sorry, my name is Hai Chen. I'm the Vice President of VinaLiving. And today I would like to cover some key topics about the real estate, but there are some duplicated sectors and topics that the Michael already shared this morning, as well as our guests at Gamuda Land and Nam Long already share some very positive signals about the real estate in Vietnam. So I will try my best to add more, some from our insights from VinaLiving team. Okay. Introduce again, sorry. I'm work for VinaCapital and VinaLiving for about 14 years, covering for the investment as well as the fundraising for the project at the fund level. So for topic today, first I just want to reserve about 1 or 2 minutes to talk about VinaLiving. And second one is I will share with you some key changes and new legal framework in Vietnam related to real estate and how it impacts to our foreigner investors in real estate like us. And the third is we would like to share our view on the strategic location to invest for the residential as well as for the vacation home in Vietnam. But due to limited time, I just want to focus on Ho Chi Minh areas only. For all the regions, for all the sectors that you want to share with us, so please register. You can register for the one-on-one section after the full event today. We reserve the whole day tomorrow to meet you. So please be free to register for the organizer. And for the last one, if I have still time, I still have time, I will present to you some successful case studies that VinaLiving already developed in the past few years. Okay, so let's start. So just talk about VinaLiving. We are 14 years old already. VinaLiving is a subsidiary of VinaCapital, and it was established about 2010 to help the development activities of all of real estate invested by VinaCapital at that time, including the VinaLand funds as well as our principal fund as well. So after, in the last 14 years, VinaLiving has a chance to cover over 60 projects across Vietnam with a total development cost for all the projects over $3 billion US. Although we have a small team, we have only 30 people, but we can provide the full scale of development services, management services, including the design management, concept design management, licensing management, develop construction management, sales and post-sales management as well. VinaLiving only cover Vietnam, and our main region to focus is Da Nang, Quy Nhơn, Đồng Nai, Bà Rịa Vũng Tàu, and Ho Chi Minh City. Okay. I think that today you hear a lot of the legal framework and what happened to the new land laws and what happened to the new laws of the dual real estate in Vietnam. So coincidentally, we are having the very same view with Gamuda Land head as well as the Nam Long head. So there's a pros and cons for the new laws effective for the 1st of August. First one, the most important ones, is we have a more transparent legal framework. So in the past, there are a lot of laws governing the dual real estate in Vietnam, like the investment law, the law of land, the law of dual real estate. But sometimes, some terms of that is conflicted together. So that's why when coming up to the authority, they are very afraid to decide which direction to go. So recently, the new laws already resolve on those conflicts. So now we have a very clear and a very transparent legal procedure so that a developer can follow correctly and they can get the result. And as well as the other opinion, we have the laws also protect the home buyers more. So it means that in the past, you can easily get deposit from the customers. and you can easily get about up to 30% of the sales volume after the SPA sign. But the new law also set some new rules where you need to go to one document, two document, even 10 document and publish into the website in order to get the sales permit. And then you have the right to sign SPA with the customer before you can collect more money from them. So that's why we told that based on more rules to protect the home buyers. So we create a lot of consequences and the bad side for the smaller developers, where they don't have the strong cash flow capability. So they are very difficult to reach to the construction loan. They are very difficult for them to get the pre-sales from the customer before they actually do something on the work, like the construction, like the basement, like the infrastructure, which require a lot of cash, right? So, and as the next thing, I think the most important one is that from now on, the government is only involved for the land revoke or land compensation for the new urban township only. This is a very important factor. It's clearly set out the direction of the government that they promote the new completed township in the outskirts of the big cities, because they encourage a developer to develop a full scale of residential, of hospital, of healthcare, of all the social infrastructure to make it as a live city. They don't want to make the big city with no one there, right? So that's why in the future, in the next 10 years, you can see a lot of new township in the outskirts city of Hanoi, Ho Chi Minh City, and Hải Phòng. And this is very good news for the big scale developer like Vinhome and Sun Group and Phú Mỹ Hưng, because they are a master in that region. So, and they already make it very successful in the southern of Ho Chi Minh City, like Phú Mỹ Hưng. They also make a very successful projects in Hanoi, like Vinhome, Ocean Park, it's 2 or 3. So I think that in the next few years, the market will run for the way that there will be a definition of called as a master developer. And then the master developer has a role, is having a role to make the land bank, to make the infrastructure, to make all the facilities for the social housing. And they will carve out some sub-project to sell back to the smaller developers. So the market, we believe that the market will run that way. Yes, so that's why we come up with the recommendation for our foreign investor like us. So because you are all, most of you are for foreigners investors. So when coming to the real estate in Vietnam, based on the new laws, so our advice that you should look and go along with the local investor, but that developer must have a strong cash flow to go further. Okay, so I got a lot of questions for this topic. So yesterday, I met some investor. They said, so what do you think about the real estate residential market in the next two years? I guess there may are many investors will ask the same question. So in the last 3 or 4 weeks, I tried a chance to sit down with some representatives of some local developers in Vietnam, in Ho Chi Minh City, ask the same question. And they, most of them, gave back to me very positive feedback. They say that the worst period of the market has passed. So they believe that in the next following years, the market will become back. But there's a difference with the compared to the last 5 years. So they're saying that the markets in the next 2 or 3 years is for the real home buyers and for the buy to let investors. So there's no speculator. So I asked them, what is the reason why there's no short-term investor or speculator? They said that in the past 5 years, because most of the investors fall into the east, following to Long Tan Airport, following to the infrastructure. So follow that wave to invest into a lot of projects in Đồng Nai, in This Is Nai, in Nhân Trạch, etc. And currently, most of them are stuck with the licensing and zoning approval. So it will need time for them to recover their financial status and to recover their confidence in the market before they're coming back to the market. So with that said, we are very aligned with that view, and honestly, about 18 months ago and 2 months ago, we and our team make an analysis on the Ho Chi Minh market. So where are the home buyers? Where the real demands of the Ho Chi Minh city? So we open the Ho Chi Minh map and population. We make a first analysis. Okay, we make a question. Where is in Ho Chi Minh, which is the crowded area with the highest density? So can you guess the answer? I think some of you will say that this is 1, this is 3, because I see a lot of houses in this 3, this is 1, right? But the answer is not. We found that only 5 these districts, Bình Tân, Tân Phú, Tân Bình, Gò Vấp, they occupy for about over 3 million people in that area, and occupying for 33% of the population of Ho Chi Minh City. And you can open the Google map to see that very crowded in that region. A lot of towns over there. So it means that there are a lot of real demands in this region when the population grows, right? So I asked the team another question. So if you live in that region and you want to buy a new house, where do you go, right? Of course, you cannot go inside anymore. The price is too expensive, right? You need to go outside. And how far you can go? 30 minutes or 45 minutes or 50 minutes or 20 minutes. So we make a lot of questions for our interviewers, and they say that maximum 20 minutes from that region. Because of what reason? First one, the most people want to buy new home is the new marriage. So they get married, they want to buy a new home. They want to leave, to set out of their parents. But normally, like the other Asian culture, like China, the parents usually support the children for the financial to buy a new home. And one of the conditions for buying a new home who gets supported from the parents is that the home must be close to their parents' home, right? For 2 reasons. First, their children can easily visit them, or they can easily visit the children. And the most important one is that when their children have kids, so they can have the parents who care for kids. So it must be close, about 15 to 20 minutes to go back and forth on that. And the second category who wants to buy a home is they are rich, they can have a wealthy people, and they want to improve their living space by seeking for a living space with the safer, greener, breathable, something like that. So they are willing to go up to about 20 minutes from their current home to buy a new home. Because of what? Because they have their own business over there, right? Because of what? Because their children study in that region for a long time. The children doesn't want to change the new school to see new friends. They just want to live, to study there. So that's why in the master 20 minutes from here, they can go. So based on that analysis, we make the circle of 20 minutes to see, okay, if I live in Bình Tân, I live in Gò Vấp area, which is the most crowded area in Ho Chi Minh City, how can I go to buy a new house in the 20 minutes driving range? So we draw a circle like this one, and we identify, okay, from Bình Tân, you can go to the Bình Chánh, Hóc Môn, and Bến Lức and Long An. From Gò Vấp, you can go to Đức Hòa, Long An, Củ Chi, and Hóc Môn. But Bình Chánh, Hóc Môn, Củ Chi, and Hóc Môn are still inside Ho Chi Minh. But unfortunately, Ho Chi Minh doesn't have supply in the next 3 years. Sorry to say that. Because of the zoning, because of the approval process, so the undersupply situation will continue to happen in Ho Chi Minh City in the next 3 years. So there's a chance for Bến Lức and a chance for Long An, for the chance for Đức Hòa and Long An. So our team said that yes, Long An, Đức Hòa, Bến Lức is very potential to develop something over there. And I think that's explained why currently many big developers in Ho Chi Minh, Vietnam, coming to Long An right now. Like Vinhomes, like Sunroof, like Phú Mỹ Hưng, they are all entering into Long An. So I think, we believe that from next year, you can hear a lot of Long An. You can hear a lot of big cities and a big township in Long An areas, whether it is Bến Lức or Cần Duộc or Đức Hòa, but it will be the very large-scale township developed by the master developer and the big developer. Okay, and this is to introduce ourselves. We are quite lucky because we, in the last 18 months, we already secured, VinaLiving already secured, and in the progress of securing another project with a total area of 65 hectares in the Long An border area. So in the next, in the time frame of 24 and 27, VinaLiving will develop a total number of 1,200 housing units in the region of Bến Lức, Long An. And we will plan to launch the first project in 2025, and we expect to hand over the first units to the buyers in 2027. And VinaLiving also follow the same concept, the previous concept of the gated community with the resort facilities, with the gym, the pool, spa. I will show you later. Okay, that is for the residential market in Ho Chi Minh City. So how's about the hospitality, and how's about the resort home in Vietnam? So I think it's very weird to say that this market is potential at this stage right now, right? So after COVID, the vacation home market is nearly frozen. Like because the tourists didn't coming, because oversupply situation in the big cities like Da Nang and Phú Quốc and Nha Trang as well. So, but look at the brighter side. Based on the microcalorie numbers this morning, you've seen that we estimated that by 2024, there will be around 19 million tourists, international tourists coming to Vietnam, about 5% over the pre-COVID numbers. So this again proves that Vietnam will come back again as a destination for international tourists, especially for the US, especially for the South Korean, especially for the Japanese as well. So what is the brighter side for vacation home right now? Based on our observation, the vacation home market in Vietnam is focusing on the Da Nang, on Nha Trang, and Phú Quốc. And those regions are still in the oversupply situation because of the very poor planning from the beginning. So we think that it will take at least 3 years for those markets to absorb on the apartments or the condominiums and the villas. But if we want to invest into vacation home business, where do we go, right? Where do we go? So we open the map, and again, we see that, okay, there's a brighter point for this market. So you can see that by 2026, the Long Thanh International Airport will operate, right? And now, international tourists will arrive Long Thanh, and it will take only 60 minutes, up to 60 minutes to the nearest beach called Hồ Tràm and Vũng Tàu. in Bà Rịa Vũng Tàu. That is the nearest beach within the 60 minutes range from International Long Thanh Airport. So this, we believe this will become a new Da Nang in the next 3 years after Long Thanh Airport operates. Because of what? Because Ho Cham has a very clean water for the beach. They have the casino, they have the 18 golf course, the number one in Vietnam. They have the hot springs, they have the forest retreat, they have all the facilities ready already. So it's totally a new Da Nang in the next 2 years. So we see that potential, and that's why we are still looking for some pipelines and new investment pipelines in this area in the next few years. And from next year, we will cooperate with our one big project in Ho Cham to develop a total of 6,000 condo hotels and villas in this region. As again, a lot of work for VinaLiving in the next 3 years. And we hope that VinaLiving can help to convert the whole region to be a new Da Nang in the future. When we draft the presentation, the BD team asked me whether you should have a slide to present how the foreign investor and how investor to do business with VinaLiving. So VinaLiving, I know that we have many projects, residential, we have the hospitality, we have a vacation home. But if we want to do business with VinaLiving, what do we do, right? So just a little bit share that VinaLiving is a subsidiary of VinaCapital, and the assets management expertise is our blood. So that's why for every project we develop or we invest, we usually reserve a room for about 30% for the outside investor. Because we want to share the profit, we want to share the premium, we want to share the risk with the outside investor, even for the local investor or international investor who can bring or we can leverage together to have a win-win situation. So normally, for every project of investment, we structure like a GP/LP partner structure, where VinaLiving will be the general partner who can act the roles of M&A, licensing, project management, development, sales, coordination, and after-sales service as well. And especially, we don't charge annual maintenance fee. And we only have the incentive fee if the profit or return above the hurdle rate. So for some projects that the investor want to have more interest, VinaLiving is able to be open for that as well. So that is the mechanism that VinaLiving operate in this business for many years. So in case you have any interest and you have any desire to cooperate with us for residential or even for vacation home market, you feel free to contact us and our team here as well, or you can register for a one-on-one session later. We can talk further on that. I think I can start my section, but to just provide you with 3 takeaways. First one, the new land laws has a lot of change for the real estate in Vietnam. And you can see a lot of new township to be developed in outskirts big cities in the next 5 to 10 years. Second one, the residential market is positive from 2025. And Long An will be the name to be called in the next 3 years in the southern area. And third one, hospitality or vacation home market is potential, but the location is very selective. Be careful with that. And we think that only Ho Cham has the most potential compared to the others. So thank you.
Maybe we'll take some questions from the audience. We have 5-6 minutes. And if there's some spare time, maybe you can go over a case study or two. So maybe take some questions first.
Hey, yeah, so.
the GPLP structure, is the investment term the same as the fund term, or it is actually the fund term? It seems very short for 3 to 5 years.
Yeah. Yeah, this is right like the LP GPLP structure, but it's similar for the private IMA. So we try to wrap up any project within 5 years, because in the past we have a fund called VinaLand Fund. It's 7 years of long term, but we take about 3 years to buy the land, and then the market is going down, and we need to wait another 3 years when the market goes up again, but it's expired term. So we think that the closed-ended fund is not suitable for the real estate in Vietnam anymore. So that's why we change a little bit by project, and we enter the market at the right time when we try to wrap up on the land acquisition, for the licensing, for the development and sales and handover within 5 years, and to return money back to the investors.
So it's fund life, fund to be wrapped up, including distributions by year 5, is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
What's the hurdle rate?
The hurdle rate, it depends on the appetite of the investor. For example, for foreign investor, normally you can see that, oh, wow, Vietnam is a lot of risk. So that's why I require at least 50%, something like that. But for Vietnamese local investor, they say, oh, I know the market well. You are the best one, the best developer in Vietnam. I believe in you. Only agree on 8. So it depends on the appetite of the developers. But for example, if you start from 8, so incentive bonus will be about less. If you start from 15, the incentive will be high, similar. So Jason, if you want to co-invest, contact us. So any question? I think the investors are tired with real estate for all the day. We have in the morning real estate, before real estate, now real estate. Okay, so take your time, and if you want to do a private session with us, our team is here, and online is here. You can register for one-on-one session. We are free to see you, and we are free. We are very happy to share with you more on the real estate in Vietnam. Thank you.
Sorry, maybe one last
sure,
question if
sure.
there's no one else. What would be the ideal or most common type of housing that you would target? I mean, you've obviously given us a feel for areas, but townhouses, bungalows, how big, how many rooms?
Okay, I will reserve that answer, Hiếu. Hiếu is a managing director of VinaLiving, and he's the expert in development in our team. So Hiếu, can you help me to answer this question for the categories of house and products that we are focusing on?
Predominantly ticket size about $300,000 on average. Townhouses or semi-detached, 3 to 4 bedrooms.
Okay, thank you.